a lot of discussion on the David Pakman Show subreddit about the Democratic primary, including Hillary Clinton's recent comments about Bernie Sanders. Remember, find the subreddit at davidpakman.com/REDDIT. Nearly 17,000 of our viewers and listeners currently subscribed to the subreddit. A few interesting posts. Blue Rice posted, "Will Hillary's attack on Bernie backfire?" Referring to Hillary Clinton saying recently that nobody likes Bernie Sanders. The post says, I am rooting for Bernie or Warren to win the nomination, much like David. Australia desperately needs progressive leaders in light of the bushfires, and I think a progressive president would help shift the world's population to that kind of thinking. Having said that, I'm not optimistic about Bernie or Warren's chances, but I want to see what effect Hillary's attack on Bernie will have, if any. My question is, does Hillary exemplify the mainstream politics that the U.S. seemed to reject in 2016 when not considering the popular vote more than Biden does? If it continues to be publicized, could Hillary's attack paint Bernie as more of an anti-establishment choice and invigorate a different section of Democratic voters? Or is Bernie already seen as an anti-establishment candidate amongst U.S. voters? I believe Bernie is already very clearly seen as an anti-establishment candidate, sometimes to a fault in the sense that he is couched as this outrageous radical who wants to tear down all of the basic infrastructure systems we have, which isn't true. He's just a social democrat in the sort of Northern European sense. But I do believe that Hillary Clinton's attack could backfire. The thing is, the backfire, there's 2 degrees. The first is, could it backfire and get Bernie the nomination? Question 2 is, what would happen if Bernie is the nominee to the chances of removing Donald Trump? And fortunately for all of us, we have new polling about that, which we will be talking about a little bit later today. Another post on the subreddit from a user who goes by the name Pedantically Semantic says, "Is David wrong about calling Bernie's label of democratic socialism inaccurate?" Adding that there does seem to be an overlap in semantics, meaning if the definition of socialism is the public ownership of the means of production, and the public is not specifically stated as only the government, and the public can also mean a collective of the public like cooperatives, and capitalism is defined as the private ownership, and private can mean an individual can own. So as you can see, this is a very semantically intense question. I want to just answer it from the top level, which is, as we've addressed before, if democratic socialism now is being understood to mean social democracy, isn't it true that Bernie is a democratic socialist if what we mean by democratic socialist is just social democrat? I don't even think we need to have that conversation. The conversation that I've had is that when socialism is discussed in many circles, the actual definition is still used. And so for clarity, I believe it makes more sense for Bernie to say that he is running a candidacy on social democracy, not democratic socialism. I concede that over time in society, if we start using a different word for something, or if we change the definition of a word, these are things we can determine, and that may be the case. I don't believe we've gotten to that point, and I think that there is only more confusion, not less, when Bernie Sanders is called a democratic socialist, even though the policies are the policies of social democracy. People can disagree about this. That's my view as of right now. Join the discussion at davidpakman.com/Reddit.